Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup Season 7. It's me, Bozo Max. It's a little surprise. And to my left side, right side, I don't know, the left side, it is Nash for yet another cast here for the Swiss stage, the second stage of ESA Cup Season 7, where we're now going to have the final two matches for that first week of Swiss, where we will have the first division between the teams who are going to the upper side of the brackets and to the lower side of the brackets.
Well, we are here, ready, and I mean we've got everyone in the lobby, but we've got some things to go over first.
Yes.
First things first. Who's playing first match?
Well, as you can see right below us on the desk, we will first have E-Wave versus Windows Ski, and this is followed then later on by the final match of today, which is LDL, Leonard's Defense League versus Aspire by EOS. So two beautiful matches today, which I'm very, very excited for. And let's just quickly jump in because I think the match will start in about 6 minutes from now. So let's just take a quick look at the map bands for this first match of today. Nash.
Oh, we did see Oregon. Wow. Don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on the other teams' map bans, and I'll tell you if they ban Oregon. Yeah, phenomenal. We're going to Oregon. A very utility-heavy map, something I've discussed in the past. It is quite overplayed, but the reason it's played so much by teams at sort of this level is because it's utility based. It's not a map that is very hard focused on these rushes and things like that, and especially if you take out the Ying, it's much harder to do so. So when it comes down to how this map's played, a lot of these teams want that methodical sort of slower play style with maybe a burst rush on basement out of nowhere. So that's sort of why Oregon is as overplayed as it is in the map pool, because it's one of those that's a bit more difficult to manipulate. But I think we have not only a social vote, but also a production vote for this match.
Two beautiful visuals to take a look at, to see it, and it gives us a little bit of insights what we can expect of this match. So this first match of today, which is Eagle Empire E-Wave versus Windows Ski, we can clearly see that the production team is somewhat divided, but still the majority. Quick math, that is it's just disappearing from me for a second. Okay, there we go. It's 4 people voting for Windows Ski in this case versus 2 people for E-Wave. Which
I'm just gonna fill mine in because I was very busy and I wasn't very well this morning.
I mean, probably some more people from the production might have felt this visual, but not everyone is being shown at the moment.
But I did vote for E-Wave for game number 1, and I also went for Aspire as the underdogs because they're showing a lot of prowess coming into the playoffs. So I'm gonna be excited to see them play.
I mean, this could definitely be a very close match because if we take a look, these two teams were actually in the same group in the group stage. They both came from Group B, where E-Wave actually ended up second and Windows Key ended up third. And I'm quickly trying to pull up the results from that match that happened before, because they did play before, if my internet is working with me. But what we can see right here, it's not opening the... Let me just quickly see. There we go. Should have it here. It's my screen right above me, apparently. There we go. So actually, this match was played before on a map Clubhouse. So not the same map as that we're seeing today, but it was a 6-8 in the advantage of E-Wave.
Oh, I mean, as you said, it was a 6-8 in advantage of E-Wave, but also it's Clubhouse. And Clubhouse is one of those maps that some teams play it phenomenally, some teams play it awfully. And I think that it's one of those sort of maps that, yes, can be heavily reliant on that sort of utility style, like burning things, taking things out, but it's mostly carried by Mirror nowadays. Because we've got these operators that you can't have on the board, like Fenris / Azami. You can't have both of them together because CC becomes impossible to push. And then it's just kind of like, well, you're left with Mirror on the cards, guaranteed, because you're going to ban Solace. So you're like kind of carried by Mirror on that map. So it really it's all about making sure the Mirror windows are dealt with and quickly worked around. But what else would you like to quickly go over?
Well, you were mentioning predictions earlier, and we did view the production prediction, but I don't think we have seen community prediction yet, right? Or did I miss that somehow?
I've seen the one for this matchup.
But it hasn't been on stream yet, right?
No.
No, let's bring that one up as well. So there actually it's a little bit different than what we have seen with the production crew. A 64%, so major advantage there for E-Wave versus the 36 there for the side of Windows Keys. So what this is telling me that the opinions are very divided about these two teams, and that can either be a really good team, like good thing. That means that we might see a very, very well balanced match, potentially even going to like overtime or something. Yeah, it just makes me very excited. And I was also quickly taking a look at the standings between these two teams, like also from other competitions. So basically, like the head-to-head information, and if my PC actually does what I wanted to do, yeah, I can see it here. So I just mentioned the one that they played like earlier in the group stage here in ESA Cup, which was an 8-6 on Clubhouse in the favor of E-Wave. But then they also played 2 matches against each other back in October, where they played on Café Dostoevsky and on Chalet, where the maps went 1 to either. So head-to-head, basically, it is actually no. Both of those went to Windows Key. So Windows Key, out of the 3 matches that are known between these two teams, Windows Key won the most out of them, 2 out of 3. But neither of those played matches was on Oregon.
Well, we are going to be heading into the matchup right now. We get to see this Oregon visualization. Look at that school bus. We love it so much. But into the band phase we go, and well, when it comes down to the operator bans on Oregon, you're particularly hard stuck to try and predict what's going to happen, but usually it ends up going around that sort of intel denial type area. So things like Dekebi, things like Knock, Ying gets taken off the board for the rush potential. I brought that up like 5 minutes ago. And then you're kind of left with pretty much just like a Knock or a Dekebi ban here, I'm pretty sure, unless they decide to go for some kind of hard breacher. I don't imagine that they will, because that kind of limits both sides. But we do see Flores, utility denial. Again, a very utility-heavy map, one of those that very much was commonly played during the utility meta. So I imagine that taking out Flores is just trying to like slow the pacing of the game down a little bit more and try and force teams into being a little bit more tentative with their pushes. On the opposite side, we do see Fenrir. And yeah, once again, one of those entry denial operators that's just a little bit annoying. And then the last ban is very likely going to be Solace, but also could very well be Azami. Okay, we're being listened to. These maps are generally just carried by Mirror, because Solace is always banned, Mirror's always available. And here we see Mirror actually getting taken off the cards, which is actually going to leave Solace on the board, which is a bit of a curious one for me. It's obviously not an operator you can really play in basement, because, I mean, realistically, if you're going to play a bunker hold in basement, she's just going to be like telegraphing where they're pushing from, not really doing anything else. But on the upper floors, I imagine that we're going to be seeing Solace quite a bit.
Yeah, Solace, like yesterday, we have seen this map being played as well. I was the one observing, and we did see Solace quite a bit as well. I mean, this match was played twice. This map was played twice yesterday, I believe. So Solace here has been pretty. What does it say? Like, has been there quite often, and we can expect to see her this match as well. She hasn't been picked yet for this first round, but we will definitely see her later on.
Something I'd like to bring light to is this sort of lesion that's being brought on side right now. He's going to be positioned over in tower, and it looks like he's probably threw a few goo mines over there. But actually, no, he's thrown none of his goo mines so far. But he's going to be a really big factor in just denying any sort of like quick, immediate entry. And especially when holding the basement, and that one sort of main push being that sort of blitz rush. We are going to be seeing an engagement between Thorn and whoever that is in Shower Corridor sometime soon by the looks of things, but it looks like they fall off, and Twitch is actually going to be nearly caught out by Warden, but a little bit of a whiff there is going to go amiss. So it is just going to be a little bit of a scuffle between both of these players, but Warden decides to fall off. And this is something that really annoys me about a lot of Warden players nowadays, is you can't really roam as Warden anymore. He's loud as hell. Play someone else, or play Warden the same way you would a Rooney, because I guarantee you'll get more kills. I really don't like this Warden playstyle, but some people seem to still like it. I'll just leave them to it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, we did see Twitch lose a lot in Sakura off the board versus Dex suffering a load of damage there on the side, and also Rispas getting damaged quite a bit, but for now it's a 5 versus 4, still with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. Attackers are still trying to find enough control to actually start opening up those hatches and get some pressure onto the bomb site itself. It seems like that Legion has fallen back, and I don't think there's any roamer at this point. I think every single defender is playing downstairs, but as the timer is now reaching that 1 minute 30 mark, the time is getting a little bit lesser for the attacking team, especially one man down, and with all that utility downstairs, it might get quite tricky for them.
They are going to be popping some flashbangs down this freezer hatch just to try and get some presence for themselves and actually give themselves an opening to actually drop down and start taking that space. But it looks like it was actually just to burn any ADSs that were potentially kind of around, or were mine magnets that were kind of hovering, just to be able to throw themselves a nade through. Don't find anything with it, and it looks like we are going to be seeing a defender fall. It is the Thorn on the opposite side, I think on pillar door, but Warden soon to follow.
And the 3 versus 4, we're now reaching the 45 last seconds. Konski with a double kill, making a huge advantage for the team. But then as Riswas gets Konski, he's taken care of, and his kill streak will no longer continue. And with this 2 versus 3, we're now approaching those final 35 seconds. 2 defenders versus the final 3 attackers. Loads of damage there on Peter, but not enough to actually take him out. But the Legion Mine will slow him down. But Riswas is not aware of the position of the Hibana, who now has injured and will likely finish him. Everything is coming down to Don, but Don unfortunately gets found as well. Gets taken out, and this first round goes to Windows Key 0-1.
Crazy little like skirmish they kind of had there. It was very much like back and forth gunfights and trying to play like stupidly aggressive, even though they really didn't need to. The quite an alternative site setup as well from the defending side, and I think that could either play for or against them. In that case, it definitely played against them, but it's realistically one of those. They're going to be moving on. They're just going straight to the top floor and probably coming back with something a bit more orthodox once they go back to that bottom basement site. At the moment, we are just seeing some normal site setup. Something to really take into account is, as much as their site setup was a bit unorthodox before, they've gone for something very normal this time around. They've got those reinforcements on the armory stairs just to try and bait out anyone that does push into armory, force them to have to use a hard breach utility to actually be able to make their way in towards the bedroom side. And it's just going to be a bit difficult as an attacker to actually be able to funnel through there without suffering at least a little bit.
I see the members of Windows Key approaching the building, and what we can actually see is that the members of E-Wave seem to be spread out quite well. Also here, the Valkyrie is one of those players who's currently playing backstage on the backstage stairs, going towards the basement, just waiting for any players to enter from that area, as it's definitely a high traffic area earlier on in the rounds, as attackers like to take control over Big Tower. But even bigger is Risras with the Tachanka, getting that first kill, taking out Vods, playing as Grim, and that's the first casualty already for the side of Windows Key, with Dex suffering quite a bit of damage, but still being alive, and Konski playing in the basement right now, trying to hunt for any of those roamers, but not finding anyone so far.
Yeah, not at this very moment. He is going to be moving his way up those basement stairs. Dex is going to be very low on HP, but Don finds a beautiful kill onto Konski. And now we're in a bit of a we're in some dire straits for the attacking side. They've really got to try and force the issue here, but at the moment, it's looking a bit scary. They've lost 2. You've got the Thorn down to quite low HP, but they've still got good information because of the Valkyrie that's on side. They've still got this Tachanka with his active utility in order to be able to deny any sort of plant attempt from the far side of site. They've still got these mute jammers. You're kind of afraid on the attacking side right now because you've still got to try and burn all this utility. You've still got to try and make your way in towards the site, and I mean, at this point, it's all going to come down to gunfights. It's all going to come down to whether you can find 1 or 2 for yourself, and then your teammates follow that up. But it looks like we are just going to be seeing everybody fall slowly but surely. The last man standing, Zaka, going to be making his way through this armory corridor.
Yeah, unfortunate team kill here, but probably like a result of some risk taking. That's understandable in these kind of situations. But in the end, Yannick all the way from Big Tower with this beautiful long angle, all the way towards Armory Corridor, finding that final kill and securing the first round for E-Wave, bringing us to a 1-1 even score, which is exactly what I want to see with teams that like these, which ended up so close to each other in the group stage.
Yeah, from a very close, or I say very close, from a relatively close basement defense to basically running all over the attackers on the top floor. And I really like that from the side of E-Wave. They were able to quickly turn it around. They've got the Skinergy. You can see that all those Beast Coast player cards. And it's like they're kind of playing as if they're here to win. Obviously, that shield was cleared out quite quickly before when they threw the flashbangs through and the nade, but they didn't really find any casualty with it, and they weren't able to really push through there. So I think at the moment, the side of E-Wave are just going to try and play this a little bit more traditionally, try and play their positions a little better, and just try and play off of each other for refrags in order to win out this round.
Yeah, so now going back to the basement, it's a second opportunity or second chance here for E-Wave. I mean, it could be an opportunity as they have the chance to do better and right the mistakes they have made in the previous time they were defending this bomb site. So for now, it's a second chance also for Windows Key to put another score here on the board for themselves, as they know what to expect, as they know how to attack this bomb site. But for now, they first need to make their way inside of the building, which was a big problem for Windows Key the last round. And there we go. It's actually Pizza getting the first kill.
Oh. Pizza getting a kill on a 1-speed that's roaming on the first floor. What a shock. Let's be real. Stop roaming on 1-speeds. They're too loud. I understand Warden's got a phenomenal gun, right? But, like, so does a Rooney if you put on the Rooney. So just be a turret. You could even put on the shotgun on Warden and play this position where Smoke is right now, and then there you go. You can't be flashed out like the Smoke can. But it's I don't know. These teams are very stuck in like a year ago. But we are just seeing a little bit of drone work come out, trying to clear out this Smoke, see if they can get a bit of pressure onto him, but no flashbangs in the pocket of the Ash because she has Claymores and Breaches now. So she's just going to be hovering around waiting for a teammate to come and, well, bail her out of this position.
And it's already the first 1 minute and 30 seconds have expired. The attackers have at least taken care of one of those defensive players, but still need to achieve quite a bit of map control. They are given that map control as every single defender is playing downstairs at the moment, so they should be able to make quick work of those. We can already hear the first hatches being opened up and the first bit of contesting happening from construction. Actually pushing through. What they thought is just pushing through solo, potentially even blind and getting punished for it heavily. Don takes out Fod, and now we're back to an equal man count of a 4 versus 4.
It's kind of wild because on the attacking side, you haven't pushed this Smoke out of position. You haven't been able to clear out blue. Obviously, you just have now. And that's literally just because they know no one's pushing over that way. You haven't been able to clear this pillar position. There's 40 seconds left on the clock, and you guys have to flood in through doorways and a kill box hatch.
Yeah, options are very limited for the attacking team, and they need to work with whatever they got, but it's not working well for them so far, as Konski and Zukuria both get taken care of. Another player of the side of Windowski falls, but Ristless does get taken care of, but Peter, the last man standing on the side of Windowski, falls as well to the hands of Yannick. And this round, therefore, goes to to E-Wave, 2 rounds in a row in their favor, putting the score on 2-1.
Indeed. Here we are at 2-1 for the side of the defense. They've managed to turn it around after losing that first basement site. Applying a little pressure. They also lost the opening frag. And, well, it really shows like the strength of that sort of basement site, the ability to be able to deny all of that utility as an attacker is super important when pushing, because that Smoke being in that position was able to apply pressure to Freezer. You weren't able to push there anymore. So the Ash had to rotate over to blue to try and take the engagement over on that side. Wasn't early enough to be able to do so. You had the Gridlock and the Hibana that dropped the kill box hatch. And then you still had the player on the tower stairs that just got dealt with very quickly because of the holes that are made there in the first place. So you're kind of in this position where, as an attacker, you've dealt with no utility, you've opened up one hatch, and you're all trying to push from one side, which is tower, blue, and killbox. Very easy to deal with as a defender.
Yeah, indeed. And for the defenders who have won 2 rounds in a row, they are going to this bomb side. That might not be the favorite one, but they have been doing pretty well on the past 2 rounds on the defense. And the ally shotgun, that's definitely going to be an interesting one. Not as good as it used to be, although I don't know how well is the ally shotgun after the shotgun nerf of buffs. How well is the shotgun doing these days? Haven't really played with it recently. Well, we'll find out. Hopefully, we will, as the ally is playing a bit of an interesting situation, just roaming around, trying to find some people off guard, and therefore she could be extremely, extremely deadly, as you might find out. But the first kill is actually coming out from the side of E-Wave. That's Yannick getting a kill on Peter, and that's Ash taken care of. Quite a bit of utility lost there on the side of Ash, and also a great gunner. But then Sakuya with a response onto that, taking up Pat, bringing us to the 4 versus 4.
Well, when it comes down to the Ella, which is what you were asking before, she does have a very powerful rapid fire shotgun. It can be very effective in especially close range engagements, but it's one of the shotguns that very much falls off at longer ranges.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. So you really have to be reliant on this pistol, especially if you're going to be holding where this Ella is right now. If she's going to try and take swings, she needs to be confident in her ability to be able to take the engagements with this pistol. But on the other hand, you also have, let's say if they do decide to bring a Scorpion, the Scorpion is a gun that is relatively difficult to control for newer players. But what's been discovered recently is because of the attachment change with the barrels, specifically, the compensator takes away 35% of horizontal recoil, whereas the flash hider takes away 15% of vertical recoil.
Okay.
So, putting the compensator on the Scorpion basically takes away a good chunk of its recoil on horizontal axis. So if you're able to control that vertical recoil, it's pretty much just a pull down gun, and it's essentially just P92.
Yeah, it just makes it hard to handle gun, a bit more of an easier to handle gun, and for some reason Ella decided not to use that gun. But for now, there's only 30 seconds remaining, even less, and there is still 4 versus 4. I think I still have to gain a loads of control and are basically on the doorstep. Actually go for the plants, and they don't know. Dex is right around the corner with the shotgun in hand, takes the kill there on Pizza. Sakuya with the kill there on wrist rest. Another shotgun kill from Dex. Vods sticks are done. It's a 2 versus 2. The time is ticking out. Another shotgun, triple shotgun kill.
No way, man!
Is now able to go for the plants. It's all coming down to Yannick. We needs to find the Thatcher needs to bait him off the plants, but Vod is deciding to go for the stick as the timer was running out, and Yannick therefore gets a fairly easy kill there on Vod and secures yet another round, the 3rd in a row for the side of E-Wave, putting the score on 3-1.
X did not just get 3 kills with the super shorty.
That's called super.
Not just happen.
I guess that's where the super comes from. I mean, how many shots is in the gun?
God.
There's 3 shots, right? Yes.
3, man. And he just cleaned 3 people.
Wow.
That's mental.
Yeah,
That's insane. Such a good position from Dex being sat on that kitchen counter in order to be able to deal with the hatch drop. Very good read onto the opposite side, being able to predict that they are going to be trying to drop down there, and they are going to be pressuring that quite heavily. So, yeah, very well played by him. And I mean, the shotgun buff, if it's not apparent, if it wasn't apparent before, it is now. Put it that way. Yeah, it's quite clear how powerful even the weakest of shotguns can be in this game at the moment, and I'm quite surprised we aren't seeing a few more, especially on sites like this one. We are seeing a TCSG, but it didn't really get majorly buffed by the shotgun change.
Yeah, we're mostly just seeing mute and smoke shotguns on staircases. That's the most we're really seeing for the past weeks or so. So yeah, that's actually a good point that we're not seeing it more. But as we're now proceeding to round 5, it's E-Wave actually finding themselves in a pretty good situation. Yes, they are the defending team, which definitely should work in their favor. But already being on 3 points in round 5 is a very good thing for them. They could potentially even increase that number even further. And for Windows Key, this would be a good moment to start to secure some points as well. Otherwise, they might find themselves in a bit of a tougher situation. But things are starting out well for Windows Key, actually. Peter doing huge work for the team, finding 2 players, both Dex and Ristress, taking care of 2 annoying players, especially the Tachinka, where the Torn likely already plays a utility. But there's 2 annoying players off the board. Also, the deployment shield being dealt with, and Windows Key now finds himself in a pretty good situation to put some high pressure on the bomb side.
Indeed. Looks like Valkyrie of Yannick going to be trying to come up on a flank right now. He is 6-1, and I mean that's a little promising for the person that is going to be coming up from behind. Places a C4 inside of that armory corridor in order to try and see if he can catch someone out in the later period of the round. But it looks like Don and Pat are just going to be trying to secure themselves to the site here as best they can. But Pat is being tracked by bees.
Yeah, there's annoying bees giving away his position, but the Bat's still getting a kill, even though. So that's Vods taking care of the one person who actually provided or shot those bees in his direction. And also Yannick playing downstairs is actually a big problem here from the side of Windows Key, especially as he gets a kill there onto Curio and evens out the man count. Bat, however, in a dangerous situation, almost losing his life as he was trying to cross this hallway. And for now, he's finding himself in attic, which is a bit of a stronger situation where he's actually in a good position to deny the attack as they don't have any attic control.
Yeah, quite a good power position, but choosing to walk on the tops instead of the concrete is a little bit of a misplay here, as they are going to hear that quite loudly. He is just holding the peak, but the drone comes through, spots him out, and he has to move away. And now we're going to be in this position where Peter is once again just cleaning up these players. On for an ace now.
Yeah, Peter on the triple kill, taking out both of these players. We were both watching him for some time, so they have a bit of vulnerability, especially from the eastern side, where 2 other attackers are located, as far as I remember. Yes, they have now gained control over attic. It's Gonski finding Pats, leaving Don all left standing, but he finds one with a shotgun. And now he's in the 1 versus 2. He still knows that Peter is at a window, but he might not know exactly where Konski is. Konski did just take out one of his team members, so he should have an idea where he might be coming from. He knows where he might be where he's coming from, and he aims in the right direction, gets the kill. But meanwhile, this is the call for Peter to hop in from the window and get a kill from behind onto Don and secure points after losing 3 in a row, putting the score on 3-2.
Indeed it is. Almost a very good clutch from the Cade there. If he'd have just pre-fired that angle onto the Lion, he very much could have come out of that alive. But moving into the next round, I just wanted to continue the shotgun conversation a little bit further. I did a lot of testing with shotguns. As some of you may be aware, I am an analyst. I wanted to, and I'm also a support main in Siege, so I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing. And there is 2 shotguns currently in the game. Actually 3, to be fair, that consistently one-shot at 15-meter range.
Let me guess.
And when I say consistently, it's 7 times or more out of 10 in 3 tests per shot.
Yeah. Let me guess. FBI, SAS, and what's the other one? GIGN?
So the SAS and GIGN are both correct, but the FBI shotgun's like the pulse shotgun, right?
Pulse, termites, yeah.
Yeah, so that one's not one of them. The other one is the Supernova.
Ah, Supernova, okay. Yeah, actually makes sense, yeah.
They are the 3 shotguns currently that I've tested, at least. And I'm pretty sure I tested all of them. That actually one-shot consistently at 15-meter ranges. And that's crazy. Which is why I'm unsure as to why we're not seeing shotguns more often in these games. Because... Oh, a bit of a failed keeper barricade there. I just saw that back on the stream because I missed it on the little screen that we have. But yeah, it's like I'm really unsure as to why we're not seeing more of those on defense. Because we do see like the what do you call it? We do see the like Supernova and stuff coming out of like Amaru's in favor of using the G8 because she has the SMG11 and things like that. So if we were to see more of those on defense, it could definitely pay like a really huge tribute to just how powerful these are.
Right. Yeah, I'd say that it's a good thing that we're not seeing them too often. I like the variety of guns that are being used in these kind of matches for now. Also, a bit of DMRs being more frequently used these days on console. Just one of the guns that we don't really see that often anymore. Are, look at the range on the camera. That's insane. That's insane, but like one of the guns that we don't really see that often anymore is like LMGs. We don't really see LMGs that much anymore for a good reason, as they have been nerfed quite heavily as they were so strong before. That's also Sophia. Sophia we saw her saw her yesterday for the first time in a very long time, but not using that LMG. But yes, this is how guns kind of relate within the game and continuously keep changing, which keeps the game also a bit fresh in my opinion.
I'd also like to let you in on a little secret. Thinker LMG is currently on a comeback because of the compensator.
Right. Okay. People are figuring out how the attachments are working and are benefiting them.
Well, it got like a few of the LMGs got like rebuffed after the rework. For example, Finger and Zofia LMG, which makes them a little more controllable. They're still like borderline impossible to control with no attachment. Or with just like a flash hider, but people are starting to realize that with the rebuff, if you're able to control the it's actually got very strong vertical recoil. But if you're able to control that strong vertical recoil, you can you can run the Finker LMG very well. With a compensator, but we are just seeing a bit of a bloodbath happen right now as people are just running into sight. We had Konski try and go for a plant, but wasn't able to find it, and now we're on a double kill for Zaka as he's going to be in this situation. Looks like he's on a clutch, but shotgun from long range. He was low HP to be fair, but I think that is still like one-shot range to be fair.
Yeah, this is E-Wave on the 4-2 advantage, which is a good half for them, especially given they were playing on the defense, and this still provides enough opportunity for Windows Key, right? I mean, they only scored 2 points on the offense, but now the fact that they have transitioned to the defense, they have a good chance to actually even things out or even gain the lead at one point. So I would say it's a good half for either team, but it doesn't really decide anything so far.
Yeah. Well, thing is, about Oregon, 4-2 on a split going onto your defensive half. Like you're kind of down 4-2. It is generally considered a comeback. But it's also not exactly the worst position to be in. Because it's like when it comes down to Oregon tends to favor the defense on a lot of these sites. For example, I've said before, the basement site is statistically one of, if not the most defender-sided site in the game. In all of the ranked and comp maps, at least. So it's like it's one of those situations where because of that, it does become very defender-sided. And then you've also got like upstairs, which is pretty good for defenders. You've got these first floor sites that in a competitive setting are also very good for the defenders, and it just becomes one of those situations where you've really got to play it smart and well as an attacker and really find these opening kills if you're able to, in order to be able to actually get yourself through and into this game. But we are seeing a very aggressive play from Yannick right now, walking his way all the way through.
Yeah, just took a quick peek, and we're actually on a 56.7% win rate for the defensive side on this map. So there's a good chance that we will see the 4-4 eventually, or potentially even a 6-6 towards the 12th round. But for now, it's really up to Windows Key to make that happen on the defense here. It's E-Wave on a fairly slow approach. The first minute has passed by, and they don't have too much control yet. There's still various people playing towards the backstairs area. Which soon will need to be contested if E-Wave wants to have a good chance and good time to actually work on the bomb site itself. Dex playing on the glass is a bit of a surprise to me, but as Yannick then gets that first kill on VODs, there's at least the one person, and especially that Solo's taken care of, which is a win here for the side of E-Wave.
Indeed. We do see them actually finding the opening kill as an attacker. Once again, as I said, very good. And they didn't really utilize Solace on the side of E-Wave. Which is something we didn't really talk about, and Windows Key is trying to do that. Problem is, an active utility operator dying so early is really bad. So as a Solace, you want to be trying to avoid these engagements unless you have a particular advantage or favorability. Whereas FOD was just kind of taking swings. and then kind of got caught for it. So it's one of those where you've got to be very, very careful, even with this 51 round magazine and all of the other stuff that Solis generally has to offer.
Once again, some good use here on the side of Grim, pointing out the position of Pizza and actually pushing him away, pushing him into the sides of one of the team members and taking care of him, leaving us with a 5 versus 3. But as I'm speaking, it's a 4 versus 3. Konski gets a kill there on Don, but loads of damage here being done on both sides. Pat in a good position to contest. Konski was playing here laundry on top of the laundry machine, kind of forced to push away, to tuck into the corner, all the way back in there. But as long as he's playing there, they cannot really take care of him, as he now is in a fairly safe position. But 3 other attacking members in laundry room getting ready for the execution, as they are stacked ready with the ESA shield to support them. But as all of the team members fall apart, it's now 2 versus 3 with Sakura down on the floor, and all coming down to Pat in this 1 versus 2 now. But then the timer, I think the timer ran out, right? I think there was still 1 defender alive.
Yeah, there was still 2. It's not exactly a great turnaround when you're trying to bring a glass into a gunfight with a warden, especially that close range. It's a little harder for you to actually be able to deal with it because of the automatic fire rate of the MPX. And I mean, these players aren't exactly slouches. They know how to hit heads. So it's kind of like one of those situations where you're a little boned, unless you're like particularly playing around that ESA shield that I'm pretty sure they did decide to bring. But it just didn't really go well for them. I'm not sure if they did or not. I don't actually think they did now I think about it. But either way, yeah, it's just a scary situation to be in. That glass versus warden at such close range. You're using smokes, so the rest of your team literally can't see. Yeah, not great from the side of E-Wave on their attack there, but it is also very good for the side of Windows Key, as they have managed to get themselves a bit closer to that equalization.
Yeah, just 1 point behind on their opponents, so 1 point needed for them to equalize with E-Wave. And I mean, they're still playing on defense, of course, and now going to a different bomb site, which is on the 2nd floor. Which is, yeah, by most teams the 2nd choice as well. So very understandable for them to go here. And once again, it's up to E-Wave to go for the offense here. They seem to be suspicious of someone or something being inside of the garage, even though it seems to be fully clear, as we have this, I mean, yeah, the observer view, the outlines, which the players, of course, don't have. So we know a bit more than they do. But I guess they have found out by now that this area is clear. So Korea playing here in Trophy. First line of defense, taking out some drones and holding back some of the attackers as long as he can.
And that's a really, really, really big deal as well. He's taken out one of the 2 clutch drones, meaning that now Brava can only hack 3 more things. That's 4 things total, because if you were paying attention, she hacked the main cam and the armory stairs cam, and then was immediately taken out. The armory stairs cam is now worthless. The moment they go downstairs, they're going to know that the main cam's hacked, because they're going to see the effect on it. And now we're going to... Here's that Finker LMG I was talking about as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
Moving that forward. She managed to get 1 kill with it, and now we're going to be seeing her try and go for more. But we have that situation where it's like that clutch drone is going to be so powerful, especially against Wamai, and just being able to utilize that is so good for the attackers, especially on this site. But you've now lost 1 of your drones. You can only hack 3 more things, and there isn't exactly a lot of things on this map that have a grand amount of value anymore. So you're a bit stuck.
Yeah, with the final minute now starting, is actually both Vod and Peter getting 1 kill each, which is huge for them as a team. Just leaving Don and Pat left standing for the side of E-Wave with just 50 seconds to work with. One seems to be coming from the wide stairs, while the other one is playing at the minute. Peter with a beautiful one-step head just takes out Don. Leaves Pat all left standing in a 1 versus 4 situation. Throws or something in this area, but doesn't really do anything. Just pushes back towards the shower corridor, just waiting here, likely just waiting with the time, just waiting and kind of taking a little break here for him and the team to communicate, but still trying to find some opportunity here as he does injure Smoke, who was trying to look through the verticality he made himself. Then Zakaria descending those white stairs, taking up pads, ending this round in the favor of Windows Key, equalizing the score, putting them on a 4-4.
Well, here we are, as you said. More than likely going to be seeing that 4-4, maybe even a 6-6. But the thing I'd like to really drill into everyone's mind right now is the fact that E-Wave, after having such a solid performance on defense, obviously they lost round 1 a bit convincingly, but they kind of weren't ready, I think. They probably weren't as prepared as they could have been. But they've come on to the attack and now can't find their footing. Yeah. They're getting a few kills. They're taking a few gunfights. They're not doing awfully, but they're just not able to really like home run the round.
No,
and that's a big issue.
Yeah, it's definitely clear that the side of the defense was favoring E-Wave much more, and that they do need some time to adjust to this new role that they're playing on right now, which is the offense, of course. And I mean, the 2 rounds in a row is not the worst thing ever. They still have a good opportunity to wake up on the attack and find some way to make it work. Especially now, Windows Key needs to go to their least favorite bomb site. There's an opportunity for E-Wave here, but if they want to do it, they need to do it soon.
I don't understand. I find it very funny seeing the 360 habit on console. Oh, yeah. Because it's something PC players do to like keep their sort of wrist movement warmed up, I guess. Yeah. Like they do like some quick snappy 360s, but then you see it on controller and you're like,
why?
I mean, yeah, I'm not disrespecting anyone. I'm just saying that it's a bit funny to see. But yeah, Zaka was just walking around Attic doing 360s. We do see a bit of a bandit trick going on this wall as well.
There goes one of your drones again. One again of the Brava drones. Once again being taken care of very early on. She probably did get some utility. I guess she was trying to hack the camp towards shower corridor. Might have been able to get it, might not have been able. I don't think she has been able to do much more beyond that.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think she even hacked the shower cam. She was halfway through hacking it. I don't think she got anything with that drone. Because I think that was the first thing she tried.
Yeah, and then Pizza here even bandit tricking the wall towards dining, which was attempted to be opened up here by the Hibana. However, Hibana was the ace likely, but Hibana now playing here on the other side, opening the walls from the main lobby. But Bandit again tricking. Bandit is just moving all over the place and just doing such a good job for the team. However, Konski is sadly dying to the native Dex, but with Pizza still playing here, still holding back the attackers as much as he can, takes out Dex and brings Dusty 4 versus 4.
And now a bit of an engagement between this Gridlock and Bandit. Unable to find it. Pizza is there. And now we're going to be seeing more engagements come out of the Bandit. He's going to be trying to take these swings by the looks of things. Just hanging around on that split side. And Valkyrie upstairs. Just a pressure on this Grim that's going to be trying to make his way through kitchen. We are seeing trades happen on either side. Rizraz managed to find another and takes it down to a 2 versus 3. And those Gridlock track stingers on the armory stairs are going to be a bit of a problem for Zaka, as now they're just making their way through. The frags found on the attacking side, and it's going to be Valkyrie left in this clutch situation. Finds one, finds the second, but trades against the ace. And that's going to be round over.
Yeah, this was indeed the moment for E-Wave to finally secure a round here on the offense, which is a good thing. They have now regained the lead for this matchup and find themselves on 5 versus 4. But the problem for them is that now Laundry Supply Room is opened up again, and the members of Windows Key have decided to go there again. The second time that E-Wave will need to take this bomb site. The last time they weren't doing too well on this attack. It will be a bit more of a difficult one for themselves, and I'm not quite sure if they will be able to do it.
We are seeing another basement defense, a nice little W7M shotgun skin there, as he's just making those head holes. And the thing about the basement defense is it's so good for the defense. And I mean, as we've seen, E-Wave have only been able to win the tertiary site for the side of Windows Key. So, realistically, if it goes the same way, we should end up at a 6-5 scoreline by the time they go to the mid-floor site, and then it's all down to E-Wave to actually be able to secure an overtime.
Yeah, that might indeed very much happen. It's really up to E-Wave to kind of prevent that for now and do better on this second attempt on attacking the same bomb site. So for now, we'll see how they do. Last time, they took quite a bit of time to actually make a proper entry into the building. Loads of roaming activity, and that's something we can see right now once more. I mean, one on top of those freezer stairs, but someone near Attic or maybe even Big Tower might be a problem here, as they will need to find him, locate him, and take care of him. It's actually fought in the smoke.
Well, the thing about it is they're doing something that I spoke about with a bunch of other people before when we were trying to discuss things, and it's bringing along that gimmick. And I mean, we saw in the previous basement defense for the side of E-Wave's attack, at least, and they brought along the glass. They tried to play around that, but then couldn't really do so because of the Warden. This time around, they're changing it out for that OSA and trying to rely much more heavily on the OSA and the Capital. And the problem I have with that is they've got a couple different locations they can choose to push this OSA through. And one of them is Tower Stairs. Problem with Tower Stairs, very open. You can be shot from both sides once you reach the bottom of the stairs. Then you've got Laundry. Laundry, I'm guaranteeing right now, has at least 2 Goyo canisters on it. And you have to get past that double door, where the Goyo canisters are going to be, in order to actually get the plant down. Then you've got Freezer, which at that point, you've got to make your way in through highway / double door. It becomes a bit of an issue. And I just don't think the OSA is really going to pay dividends like the glass could have previously. But it looks like they're just going to be taking gunfights and seeing where it goes from there.
Yeah, and that's actually going well for E-Wave. They have man advantage right here and have some proper control from various sides to actually contest the bomb site quite heavily. Indeed, the Goyo canister there to watch Laundry to contest the players even further. And with 35 seconds, there's no smoke canister remaining. So to hold back the attackers, they really rely on those Goyo canisters, especially with the Ozone shield who's now being placed, who's really strengthening the position of those attackers. And with the Capital still in play, Chaos is about to brought upon them, as I think it will get quite difficult for them to defend their bomb site now.
Yeah, they're just waiting for that 20-second mark. They know what they're trying to do, and like now they've popped off the Goyo canister. There's still going to be 10 seconds left before the actual plant is secured. And I mean, we're seeing everyone just flood in and kind of die here, and we're kind of in this clutch situation. It's such a messy sort of attempt from the side of E-Wave that it's kind of hard to commentate on. They're trying to rush in through Freezer through a smoke with 2 players, unable to do so because you've got a smoke on the other side with a shotgun, and he's going to see you first once you try and run through that smoke. On the opposite side, on Laundry, you've got 2 players trying to push with OSA shields through a Goyo fire, and then once the fire is over, you have the Capital run in to try and plant in Laundry corner to be covered by OSA. Problem with that is the head holes are on the right side of the closet, or well, on the left side of the closet, because I used right not as a directional term there. They're on the left side of the closet on the defender's POV, and you're able to just quickly deal with that man in the corner. Like, there's no cover for him. And that is where it kind of gets messy for the side of E-Wave. They have no plan once they reach the execute, and they're just kind of getting mullered for it. They're being allowed all of this room, all of this space, just to then get there and be like, panic. So something's got to change.
Definitely got to change, and things are not looking ideal for E-Wave. I mean, they played this bomb site before and they lost it before. It's the same kind of situation they were on with this basement, which they just lost, and they just again they need to find ways that work on how to contest the side of Windows Key. Because if they're going to lose this round, then it's going to be Windows Key on the match point, and Yannick killing Konski is definitely going to work, but it's not everything. We saw on the previous round how well E-Wave got those opening kills and established the man advantage. but then how easily they lost the round towards the end. So they still have got quite a bit to do, but the first step in the right direction has been set.
There is going to be, looks like, a bit of an attempt on that games window, but I think it's just going to reload the 50 bullets left in her magazine, and start to make our way through main entrance by the looks of things. Because the thing about the Finker LMG is you could just tear apart a team if you just walk around a corner pre-firing. Zaka has to run through some Goyo fire as Finker makes her way up through that armory corridor. Twitch drone already deep through into Attic in order to try and pop some of these Goyo canisters and give a bit of space to the side of E-Wave, and that's good adaptation from them. But on the opposite side, we do see a much more conservative hold. Those holes on the trophy side going to be reinforced off and kept a little bit more safe on the opposite side. Pre-placed C4, possibly, by the looks of things. Yeah. I'm assuming a pre-placed C4 goes off and manages to find one frag in favor of the defensive Windows key, and now we're going to see Peter get very aggressive on the breach. Almost gets caught out by his own teammate's smoke canister.
Yeah, E-Wave now with a man advantage, 3 versus 2 after 2 members of Windows Key got taken out. The nade going to be thrown by Yannick will not find anyone besides making some verticality, but besides that, it doesn't really do too much. They have 55 seconds to find those 2 final players who are both playing on site. We do see some drones that are now being destroyed, but they might have gained some information that will help them on finding and taking out these 2 final players.
Indeed. Nades being thrown through, trying to deal with these my magnets. As we see the Yana with those flashes. We do still have a smoke and a Legion on side. 2 operators that are very good at being able to open up a situation like this, and a bit of damage onto Legion is going to be a bit scary as he tries to take the reswing onto the same player. And now going to be trying to isolate this Yana, but she's already in the middle of sight. No one even realizes she's going to be covering for the plant and taking swings onto this man that's going to be hovering around the bed, but not going to be able to find anything for herself just yet. Proning an Attic, trying to keep herself safe, waiting for the stim from Finker, but it doesn't come. Dex finds the kill onto Pizza, and that is going to be another round, bringing E-Wave to match point.
Yes, indeed. E-Wave securing 2 rounds here on the offense, just like Windows Key did on their offense, which is a huge or a very good thing here for E-Wave. The question is, will they be able to even win 3 rounds on the attack, where it's going to be Windows Key going back to the same bomb site, which they have played twice, lost it once, won it once. Will they be able to win it twice? Or which side will be able to win it twice? That's a big question for this bomb site. If it's going to be E-Wave, they are going to be victorious with a 7-5 score. But if Windows Key is going to be more successful this time around, like they have been in the very first round, they played this bomb site, then we will see a 6-6 score and see overtime.
Hopefully we do get to see that overtime. It is very fun to see these teams be very close, very head-to-head, and it also helps a lot of their competition coming into the future end of the Swiss stage, and also, well, just playoffs in general. So when it comes down to this match going to overtime, it will give a lot more information as to how the teams play this map, because it'll become a bit more desperate, especially when it gets into that sort of final 3 rounds. So people are able to really pick apart the irregular strategies that they do decide to bring and figure out.
Indeed, so this might be the very last round of this match. If it's up to E-Wave, then of course Windows Key is going to do everything in their power to stop this and extend the match for another 2 to 3 more rounds.
I think the win condition is Pizza and Konski not dying first. Because they're 2 very good players that have had a lot of impact in previous games. The problem with how they're going now, they're trying to be too aggressive, they're over-swinging, they're getting caught, and then you end up in a situation where you've got like Peter and Ford in a clutch situation, or Zaka in a clutch situation, and you're kind of a little boned in a sense. And they're lost because they're in a 1v3 or a 2v3, and you're dead. So something needs to change. These guys need to be a little bit more careful. It looks like Konski is following that advice true and true. He's going to be sitting around inside of games. Pizza going to be trying to take some aggressive plays onto the man outside, but not able to find anything as of this very moment. Just going to be hovering around that shower corridor, waiting to see if anyone pushes his direction.
Now, still only half of the round remaining. Every single member of this match, of either team, is still alive at this moment. Konski being extremely low on HP, but still holding a gun and be able to make himself useful for the remainder of this round. Of course, a gunfight will get very tricky for him, but still he is able to just be still be very beneficial for the team. And with soon 1 minute remaining, the attackers need to do something. Yes, they are getting pretty close to the bomb site. With some walls open up here and there, they might have some opportunities, but there's still a load of work to do. Vods getting damaged quite a bit, but again, not getting taken out. And damage is not what the members of E-Wave need. They need kills, and that's exactly what's happening, but not from the side of E-Wave, but from the side of Windows Key, which now has brought themselves to a 3 versus 5, as also Yannick has now fallen to the hands of Peter.
Look how much more comfortable Zaka is, and Peter as well, to take these swings. Now they're in a 5-man alive situation. It doesn't matter what health Konski has, he's still alive, and that gives that boost to players like Zaka and Peter in order to be able to take these swings without having to worry about the consequences of their actions. He takes a quick run past, does manage to get all the way through without paying the price, and now we have the side of E-Wave who have to desperately try and take engagements. Thermite falls on the breach angle, and now we're going to be seeing these two players. One falls on Closet, and a flawless round as Zaka finds a double kill at the very end.
Yeah, I think that was even a quad kill in total for him. 4 kills that round, so very, very good run for him, which is came exactly at the moment Windows Key needed it the most, because now they have secured the 6-6. Overtime is a fact, and this map is going to be extended for a maximum of 3 rounds. Whichever team wins 2 out of those rounds is going to be victorious, and the fact that E-Wave is starting on offense might be a bit of a problem, as they only won 2 rounds on the offense, while Windows Key won 6. And I mean, you kind of know how things work in overtime. Roll swap happens every single round, so in total Windows Key is getting 2 defensive rounds, while the members of E-Wave only get 1 and need to attack twice.
Well, the thing is, realistically, we should see 2 defensive round wins very, very easily, because we see basement played twice, 1 by either side, and I think this is guaranteed to be at minimum an 8-7. I don't think it's possible that we see a 8-6 unless something extremely unorthodox comes out of one of these teams. And I imagine, if I'm going to predict anything, I imagine that Windows Key are actually going to be the team on both sides, both attack and defense, to play extremely aggressive. As you can see, placing barbed wire outside already. I think Windows Key are going to play very aggressive and try and bring the fight to the opposite side.
Yeah, you might be right here. Windows Key tends to play aggressive, especially in these kind of situations, and it's really up to E-Wave to find a way to counter that. They have been struggling to counter the defense of Windows Key, only securing 2 rounds out of the 6, and E-Wave therefore is up to quite a big of a challenge. Various previous times when they were attacking the basement bomb site, their time management wasn't exactly ideal. I mean, they did sometimes get the man advantage towards the last minutes, but then didn't really have enough time to actually push the bomb site properly. And I think the Windows Key is really going to try to hold back E-Wave as long as they can, just like they did before, and give E-Wave as little time as possible to actually go for that initial, for the final execute.
LMG ringing out onto the back stairs, unable to find the kill he's looking for, but he's going to try and bounce a nade around the corner. Clears out the barbed wire, but not the player, and he's going to fall off over towards that Shaiko spot, as it is so aptly named. We are going to be seeing Pat sit around on that back stairs, seeing if he can try and catch out one of these players getting a little too aggressive with a shotgun up the tower stairs themselves. Zaka going to be just barricading off this door. He wants to make sure that nobody's going to be pushing in this direction, and I mean, he can do it very safely because nobody is over there right now.
Yeah, with the 1 minute mark approaching very soon, it's still a 5 versus 5. And attackers, yes, they have weakened some of the defensive structures put up by the defending side, like hatches have been opened up. Flashbangs are not coming out, so likely the drops and execute will happen soon. But Riz was actually the first one to get a kill there on Fault, taking care of the smoke, which is huge, as the smoke is very crucial towards the end of the round and towards the time waste. When it's a Korea getting a kill there on Riz, it's back to 4 versus 4. Leads lost, equalized. The man count now is, and with 45 seconds, the attackers need to make their move very, very soon.
Yeah, a lot of these ex-Kairos denied by the player sitting around in blue as well, and now with it being a 4v4 situation, 45 seconds left on the clock, it is going to be a bloodbath. People are going to start running in carelessly, trying to take these engagements, and it's going to come down to whoever can win them out. We are seeing a bit of a conglomeration or a congregation, sorry, on the side of blue. We do also see the Savannah on the hatch pack finds one to open things up. Zaka is the man to fall, and Don takes his drop onto the hatch, isn't able to find the shots onto the Goyo. Konski finds one for himself, Pizza finds another, and now we're going to be in a 3v2 situation with Peter getting down, 2 players left on either side, with the kill being confirmed onto the Warden. Goyo going to be hovering around him, Freezer just going to be playing himself safe. In comes the TCSG to find that kill, and now the last man standing on both sides, neither of them able to find the kill. The defenders win on time.
Yeah, I think that with their on, that Goyo might have been a crucial mistake there on the side of E-Wave. If they managed to kill that Goyo and take him out, they would have had a pretty good chance to actually go for that plant. But now with the diffuser lost their electrical and still 2 members to be found, and with not enough time to actually find and take him out, yeah, it's unfortunate here for the side of E-Wave, but Windows Key now securing the lead, securing the match points, putting themselves on 6-7, and out of the upcoming 2 rounds, they only need 1 more round win. The good thing for E-Wave is that they now are playing on the defense and going to the very strong bomb site of the basement. But after this, even if they manage to secure this round, they will still need to attack 1 more round.
I mean, indeed they will. We are going to be seeing them go to this defensive site, as we said. And I mean, it's definitely a site that I imagine they should win, and I think that'll definitely be the case. But it's more a matter of how things go throughout the rest of the game. I think that final round is going to be the real difference maker, with the top floor probably going to be the one coming into fruition, unless they really want to throw them off and take them to that mid-floor site.
Yeah, right now this might be the final round. Windows Key, when were playing on the offense previously, they won 2 out of the 6 rounds. So there's definitely a chance for them to win an offensive round here. But again, it will be tricky, just like E-Wave had a tricky round just right before this. But with Windows Key already entering the building very quickly, Peter being one of those, already being in security corridor, getting ready to potentially descend those freezer stairs. He might be able to do some very nasty damage early on. And just looking over the map, I don't think we have any rover presence whatsoever. Maybe just in the back of backstage, big tower. But besides that, I think every E-Wave member is playing pretty close, or even inside of the bomb site.
Indeed, we do see Pat hovering around on these tower stairs. Here's the Grim above him and decides to fall off. Knows that he's going to be pressured quite quickly, and I mean that Commando 552 isn't one to mess around with. Yes, it's going to be getting a damage nerf sometime soon, so we'll be very pleased with that, especially for the defenders. But he's trying to bait someone out right now. He looks like he wants to be tracked, as the Thorn's going to be sitting around there as well. So we'll have to see what actually happens from this, if anything comes into fruition. But the Grim is now sitting around outside of the blue door, just going to be taking engagements over there instead.
Yeah, once again, no damage done whatsoever at this moment. The attackers are pretty close and pretty much on the doorstep of the basement, but still need to do quite a lot. And it's just waiting for the first move. And with Pat actually getting that first kill there on Konski, that's really going to hurt the offensive side. Yes, it's only Thatcher, and Thatcher might not be the most important operator at this moment anymore. But with 1 minute remaining, the attackers needs to find a way in. And with Yannick then getting a kill on Peter, it's a 5 versus 3, with only 3 offensive players left standing for the side of Windows Key.
Indeed it is. We're going to be seeing Pizza try and get some flashes down this hatch. The moment this smoke clears, we're going to be seeing Grim walk through, and the twitch of Zaka going to be trying to make his way down the tower stairs, but we lose the man on the hatch, and now we're going to be in a position of a 5 versus 2. They do find a kill each, bringing us down to a 3 versus 2. We are going to be just a little worried for the side of E-Wave right now, as I mean, having 2 players cleared off as quickly as they have been, you're going to be a little unsure. But Dex finds 2 beautiful kills, 2 little headshots, cleanly done, and well, moves his team forward into the final round of this matchup. full 15 rounds.
The very final, the very last round for this match. And the big question is who is going to win it out? Again, like we have been saying before, it's going to be Windows-Key here on the defense, which has been the favorite side for this map, or within the competition even for this map, but also in this match. And that should technically put them in a bit of an advantage. Yes, they can no longer go to the basement as they won it at the first defensive round in the overtime. But this top floor bomb side is quite strong for them as well. I'm trying to remember the round history for this bomb sites. Do you remember in the previous half?
Wait, the previous half?
Yeah, how Windows Key did on defending this bomb site. I think 1-1, right? Like 1 win, 1 loss.
I think so. I think it was a 1-1, but
yes.
we can't be certain. Either way, we're looking right now at a very strong defense for both of these teams, and I think that's going to really come into account. I think that it's going to very much come down to whether the attacking side is able to actually convert off of the opening kick, because it hasn't been very effective for either side throughout this entire matchup. Both teams have kind of been struggling with either getting the opening pick or actually getting a conversion off of the opening pick. So we'll have to see how they go.
And for now, it's really up to E-Wave, who is a bit of in a tougher position here, but might still be able to make it work. We can see most of the players of Windows keeping playing very close to the bomb site, with some just playing right below it. And with all the verticality made, they might be able to just defend the bomb site from below as well, as they do have some intel potentially, especially with that Solis being played, who might be able to be very valuable from below if she manages just to stay alive long enough. But then with Pizza crashed.
Oh no!
I think his game crashed.
Pizza DC'd, and that's not going to be very good for the defensive side.
It's a Solis as well.
Yeah, it's going to be so bad for the defense. They have to try and play around this terrible revelation that's just happened. Nade comes through, almost finds Peter as well, and now you're going to be so concerned for how much you're actually going to be able to do in the remainder of this round. Your smoke's been droned out inside of that security closet, and he's going to have to fall off into the basement. And, well, it's not exactly the best place to fall off into, because you have no information on these stairs, so you have to just gun it and see if you can get yourself all the way through. And now Rizraz is going to be just droning that out, seeing if he can find anything. Decides to opt away and instead moves himself to droning that big window side. Nade going to be cooked in hand of the Thinker, but decides against it as of this very point in time. And it's still a 4 versus 5, even with a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, E-Wave has been giving this advantage for free, basically, but they're not really doing anything with it. Like, yes, they're just stacking up and getting ready, but with Falden taking out Pat, it's basically back and equalized. Peter is still quite low on HP and could easily be taken out, but with the man advantage now being equal, things are getting problematic, and especially with Fall getting a second and taking out Dex, things are not looking great for E-Wave right here.
Rizraz does manage to find Vod. Now the smoke's going to be coming in through the big window, more than likely going to be trying to go for a plant, but Rizraz finds one more coming up the white stairs. And it's going to be all down to the Goyo here. Goyo of Konski going to be making his way over towards White Stairs, finds one, isn't able to yet find a second. There is going to be player on the big window, and there is also going to be the Capital standing on the default plant spot, as now he's going to be just trying to take his swings, see if he can find his engagement, see if he can isolate a 1v1. Does isolate the 1v1, but dons to win it out, and E-Wave come out of this game with a victory.
What an unfortunate final round there for the side of Windows Key. Oh, I haven't seen this animation for so long. Yeah, a bit surprised. I was like, where the hell is the final player? But of course, it's the Thatcher Elite, where he just arrives a little bit later by helicopter. But hey, again, what an unfortunate round for Windows Key. Just getting so close to potentially winning this match. I think they were in a very good position to actually win this match, given the round swap situation, with them having the advantage of the defensive side, but just losing one player. And yeah, Pizza, just very unfortunate. And E-Wave taking full advantage of it and securing this round fair and square, and winning this match with an 8-7 score.
It's very unfortunate, and you can't help but feel bad for the side of Windows Key. Like, losing that player, you've got to be disappointed. You've got to be kind of miffed. a little tilted maybe
Yeah.
about that. And I mean, it's just one of those where you got to move on. Obviously, things happen.
Yeah.
As much as people don't like the statement, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And you kind of have to work around the fact that you are at that disadvantage. And they did do very well. Fod was able to find two very, very early, even though he was in such an isolated position. It was very much a sort of BDS roam, but on the inverse. And I really liked that. But unfortunately, didn't quite work out the way they really planned for it to. So
yeah, but that's the thing for Windows Key. Like, of course, they have lost this match, which is very unfortunate. But in the end, it's not the end of the world. Basically, the Swiss stage, it's basically a triple elimination bracket, if you kind of think about it. Like, you have loads of chances to make it out, and there's room for failure. Like, even if you lose 2 times, you will end up in those elimination matches where you will need to play those BF3s. But even then, you can make your way out and still secure a spot in those finals, of which the finals are actually going to be single elimination. So that's where things get very serious. But for now, there is some room for error, and just losing this one match isn't too big of a deal. And even given the fact that you will play against other teams that also lost their match, you might have some opportunity there. But yeah, that's the very first match for today. E-Wave versus Windows Key with an 8-7 score. A beautiful first match of this evening. And for now, we're going to prepare the final match for you, for all of you, which is going to be LDL versus Aspire by Team EOS. And in about 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be back with this final match of the first week of the Swiss stage. So see you guys soon. Grab a drink, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye. And welcome back, everyone. After a short break, we're back with the final match for today. It's still Nash and me. And yeah, we're going to bring this final match to you right now on your screen, which is going to be LDL versus Aspire by EOS.
indeed it is. A bit of an underdog story for the side of Aspire right now against against LDL. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like LDL is so dominant. We'll quickly go to the map bans and then we'll just jump straight into the game.
Yeah, so the map bans, we can see them right here. It's going to be Oregon once more. So Oregon is definitely going to be the most, continue to be the most played map during this competition and during this stage so far. But at least the good thing is that our viewers and us guests have already nicely warmed up for this map. So that's at least a bit of positivity.
Indeed it is. We do have a 50-50 social vote. People are really rooting for that underdog story right now for the side of Aspire. And
Wow.
Yeah, we'll just jump
50-50.
straight over to the production predictions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually quite a few people actually being wrong on the very first match, but for now things are even more one-sided than before, and it's actually everyone but Void voting for LDL here. Well, yeah, then also Void. Only Void is actually rooting here for the side of Aspire. So, I mean, if the trend continues and the underdog wins, then Void is going to have a good time here and is going to have some pride right there. But for now, definitely a lot of people siding there with the side of LDL, where the community doesn't really seem to be joining us in those thoughts as they were on 50-50.
Indeed. Well, with the teams that are going to be participating in this, I don't really know where to go from here because I can see the operator bans kind of going on my screen, but obviously because
there
was some things going on, we did pause for a minute.
Yeah, I guess the match will start in about a minute from now, so it shouldn't be too long, but soon we will be able to hop into this game. But for now, yeah, I mean, this is the final match for the first week of the Swiss stage. After today, we will know which teams will proceed to like the upper side of Swiss and which teams will descend to the lower side of the Swiss stage. And then later this week, we'll likely announce which team will play against which team, because there were some technical issues where the seeding cannot really be done yet. There's still something to figure out, but hopefully soon we will actually inform all the teams and players and viewers which team will play against the other one. So the best way to actually keep an eye on that will be our social media and Wikipedia.
Indeed. I will take a moment to just quickly discuss the operator bans that
Yeah, sure, go
were
ahead.
unseen.
Mhm.
We do have Ying, Monty, Fenrir, and Solace. And Monty, I think, is a bit more of a target ban for one of these teams, as I imagine that on the attacking side, one of these teams does generally like to play that Monty. And, well, with it being the orange team, so the team starting on attack, that actually took it off the board on the side of Aspire, they are going to be probably a little worried about the side of LBL actually running that Monty quite consistently. So more than likely going to be playing around that. And yeah, we do see on their defensive side quite a bit of a semi-aggressive lineup, kind of what I would call a passive-aggressive lineup, one that can play relatively aggressively, but has to really choose to do so. A lot of the time, we are going to be seeing a few of these operators, for example, Echo, for example, Wamai, for example, Warden, that can play aggressive, but are more than likely going to be a little bit more conservative with their lives because of their active utility, rather than the Mute or the Jaeger, who have very passive utility that is already on the ground and not really going to be dealt with if they die, essentially. But a bit of drone work coming out onto main lobby right now. They have got a bit of presence on that attic side just to try and isolate this man that's going to be hovering around on the basement stairs. And the player that was higher up on those basement stairs does fall off as well. So almost got himself caught there, but does manage to get himself all the way out of that situation. Some holes being opened above those laundry stairs, and almost a little scuffle coming out between the buck of Hookah and also Madarina.
I'm just realizing how short the name of the mute is. Is it Liv? Liv. I guess it's Liv. Okay. Well, either way, I'm not very familiar with the player, but yeah, for now, 1 minute 45 seconds remaining. Attackers are just getting closer to the defenders. We're all playing inside of the bomb site, so it's going to be one of those rounds that we've seen quite often in the previous match, where it's really coming down to those final minutes or even seconds of the game. And yeah, well, with Hibana now opening up those hatches, she is securing some new entry points and line of sight towards the bomb site from where they can contest the defenders even further. But the time, however, will decrease as they as they proceed, and yeah, the time management will be crucial towards the end of the round.
Yeah, very cool little setup from the defensive side. Aspire obviously haven't read into it very well. They've decided to bring along this Jackal thinking there's going to be some kind of long roam, but isn't actually the case. So now the Jackal scans are kind of wasted on players that are just sitting around on site. We are seeing a bit of aggression come out onto that back stairs, but Madarino fell off, as we already saw, and the player coming down laundry is going to be a bit of a nuisance if they're not able to actually isolate and destroy engagements coming out on the opposite side, though, as Eli is actually able to find two for himself after the trade comes out, and now we're going to be seeing Hookah find another. So it's going to be equalized, but Life manages to find another, and we're going to be seeing a 2v2 situation. The Hibana standing around on the hatch, going to be throwing those flashbangs in to try and create a little bit of space for herself. Does take the drop and is going to be trying to get aggressive in towards the site. Axie finds one for himself. And now we're going to be seeing this crossfire just be utilized very, very effectively. But Saki finds one. Going to be running to the opposite side to try and get that plant down. Does decide to start planting that
Echo drone.
There is information. The Echo drone going to be spotting him out. And that's going to be the first round for the side of LDL. Axie with the clutch.
Yeah, that was a tough call there to make for the Hibana. Go for the plant or go for the kill. Of course, go for the plant seems understandable, running away as far as she could and trying to go for the plant there, which might have been able to buy her enough time, as the Wamai wouldn't have needed to look for her and try to find her. But of course, with the Echo drone in play, pointing at her position perfectly, like she didn't have any other option than to stick the plants. And the Wamai, of course, knew exactly where to run off to and to secure an easy kill. So a nice attempt, but yeah, this one is going to the side here of LPL, putting them on a 1-0 advantage.
Indeed, they are up 1-0. Again, it is Oregon, so it is to be expected. But generally speaking, it was a lot closer than probably LDL even wanted it to be. So it could be a bit of a detriment to the defensive side if they're not able to actually secure anything for themselves. Drone goes unspotted by Lif in the attic side. The Nomad going to be very happy with that drone position and the ability to be able to drone it further into the round.
Yeah, we're seeing an attempted run out there from Ellie, but then securing anyone, of course. Always nice attempts, but it rarely really works out in those kind of situations. But for now, the attackers of Aspire know that they need to be careful for an aggressive opponent, and will be trying to reach the building and find their first way in for where they can establish their first bit of control.
Indeed, we do see the Sledge making his way through. He has managed to get himself into that green corridor and knows the Legion's going to be here. Tries to pre-fire him through the wall, isn't quite able to find him, and the Legion's now going to be very, very aware. And I think because of that sort of impatience that the Sledge had, he does end up losing out that gunfight. Snelly loses out to Axie, and now we're in a much more scary position for this attacking side. As the opening frag's been found by the defense, they're going to be a little more cautious, a little more tentative, trying to make their way in through this main lobby side.
And with this 5 versus 4, they will need to find a way in, and the Shivers also seemingly is getting in a bit of trouble, at least getting damaged a little bit there. They need to be even further careful, but it seems like they at least have established some kind of control and are now trying to contest the attic, where there is a deployable shield present and a player present, so it will still be a tough test. But with the floors they have brought along, they should be able to deal with the shield somehow. And also with the flashbangs coming from the Nomad and her utility, they should be able to push away this player, which is Madrino, which they're successfully doing so. And this way, they should be able to establish the control over Attic, but they need to be careful because there is a Torn playing right below them, getting ready for a flank.
Indeed, and I mean, if that hatch is open, she's definitely going to be able to see anyone that tries to cross past. And because of that shield position, it is going to be even scarier for the attackers actually making their way through. C4 comes out and manages to get the kill onto the man on balcony. Eli finds another onto the player making his way in through attic, and now it's going to be left to Carol for the clutch. Going to be trying to take engagements left, right, and center, but people are just going to be getting very, very aggressive. The man walks in through the trophy side, and AGM, who was hovering around, or AGM, but Ollie, who was hovering around on that hobo bedside, does rotate his way through onto the game's entrance and get himself that frag on the Flores that's on breach. Bringing us up to a 2-0 scoreline for the side of E-Wave. E-Wave? I'm losing my mind. For the side of LDL. And that's going to be really good for the defensive side. They've managed to win 2 of 3, and now they're going to their tertiary side. And this is the real difference maker on whether we're going to be going to a 4-2 or potentially a 5-1, 6-0 half. Of general site setup here, as they're going to be just getting themselves ready in the same way that it seemed like the other teams were last game. No real alternate changes. The main thing to really keep in mind is the different operator lineup, and that is specifically when it comes down to the Echo, the Azami, and the Castle. Not much really happening as of right now, though. They're going to be cashling off that tower side. They want to try and keep themselves safe. And the spawn peak from Lif on the blue door is potentially going to catch a player if they do decide to try and make their way in through here for a little bit of a lurk play. But Knock isn't going to be in play right now. So the player that does normally enter down there on her own isn't going to be in effect. So this Warden of Lif is left uncontested on this backstairs sort of side as the OSA, as the OSA on the attack is going to be trying to make her way in through that top tower and get herself ready for these breaches to be open.
Yeah, with 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes remaining, attackers are getting ready and have established quite a bit of control, but they do not seem to be aware of the position of this water, which now throwing out C4, not connecting, unfortunately, and giving his position away in doing so. But with the Echo also just around the corner and getting ready to contest, Even impact nades are being thrown at the deployable shield of the Oza, where Snelly was playing behind, getting damaged quite a bit, but still staying alive. Suspicious of an echo drone or some kind of utility that might be gathering information, looking around for it, but not finding anything. But for now, the attackers, they have established quite a bit of control, but are even struggling in obtaining it so and doing something with it, as the presence and the aggressiveness of the defenders is so damn strong.
Indeed, they've managed to find one after getting the injure onto the gridlock, and a second soon to follow as Eli finds Shivers. Hookah, on the return, manages to find Madarino, and the kill count is equalized by the attacking side, so they are going to be ready to really, well, force the issue here if they have to, but this player of Lift going to be hovering around on these backstairs is going to be a bit of a question mark, as they really don't know about his positioning right now, and Sledge could definitely get caught, being on low HP as he is. But the opposite side being opened up by the Osa and the Ace, as they are going to be trying to get their plan in on the opposite side of this site.
And just 45 seconds remaining for this attacking team, with Snelly being extremely low on HP. They are in somewhat of a good position, but with then Blame getting a kill on Hookah, leaving these attackers with 2, and Snelly actually responding and taking an Ollie. Now we're finding ourselves in a 2 versus 2, with Seki getting in a good position to potentially take out Echo. He knows where he is, but Echo is slipping away through the rotation, and Liv is also somewhere near the backstage, which is a strong position for him to be in, and the Echo still in play could make a huge problem here for the attacking side if they decide to go for the plans. And also lots of information, of course, is being gathered, and with the final 15 seconds is right now the time that the Echoes need to make their move. But with this defender still in play, and like I said, the Echo in play, things are going to get very difficult. However, Ellie doesn't seem to be on his Echo drone at the moment, and as the final play, or actually Snelly falls, it's Saki forced off the plans which he was trying to attempt, and then playing with a final kill on Saki, securing yet another round for the side of LDL, putting them ahead on 3-0.
And this 3-0 is where it really starts to get scary for Aspire. They've gone through a full site rotation and managed to keep themselves completely safe. Looked like the Azami keeper was going to be a big detriment to the defensive side in that round, but ended up not being the case. Instead, isolated the Sledge and were able to just actually translate that round. Elo with a very good rotation. And now we're going to be going back down to this basement defense, which is so favorable for the defensive side. And you can only get more and more worried for the side of Aspire as the time goes on, because some big gimmick strategy on that first offensive round coming out of the side of LDL, if they do get a 6-0 half, is going to be a really big deal coming into this game, because they could genuinely go on a 6-0 half on this defense and then come in with like some crazy blitz rush or something like that and actually blow the opposite side out of the water.
Yeah, because there's definitely going to be a good chance for Aspire to secure rounds on the defense, but if indeed they let it become a 6-0 score, then the room for error is basically none. So securing at least 2 rounds would be very good for Aspire, but so far it's not looking that we're going to see that happen, as those first 3 rounds have been pretty secure by the side of LDL. I mean, it was pretty convincing, and Aspire needs to find a way to contest LDL a little bit better, as they're playing so aggressive and so strong. And Aspire, I mean, yeah, they really need to find a way to deal with it. Otherwise, it's going to be too late pretty soon.
Indeed it is, but actually going to be hovering around this bedroom side, going to be almost in contention of taking a gunfight against this attic player. Does run himself through, manages to find that frag, and now at full HP with no damage dealt. He's going to be so happy with that. Madarino finds one more onto Shivers as he tries to make his way in through the door on top white, and we're going to be seeing Saki, the last remaining player on the top floor, unaware of this player that's going to be coming from the attic side. He finds another one, Axie, on a double kill now, as he has lost a player in the meantime. They are going to be so much more confident. They only have one player on... They have no players on site right now.
Yeah, I think LDL's getting pretty confident and getting pretty aware that they have quite a bit of room to play around here for this match, as their opponent is not really opposing them too much at this point. I mean, there have been a few rounds where Aspire did go in the right direction, especially the third round that was But for now, it's LDL who's definitely controlling the playground here, and is definitely shaping it in a way they want it to be. And yeah, just kind of playing around here with Aspire.
Yeah, the thing that makes me really worried about Aspire's adaptability is the fact that in the early side of the round, and even before the round even started, they knew there was players on the upstairs. So they went for that upstairs clear. Now, the thing is, if there's players on the top floor while they're defending basement, they need a fallback option. So there's going to be at least 2 more players, one helping out on the upstairs, and one on the first floor in order to try and hold off flanks and stuff like that, in order to give them information on being able to run back to site. Now, the problem with Aspire's adaptability isn't the fact that they went for that top floor clear, because it can be very good. It's the fact that they didn't even consider going for some sort of rush attempt onto the site, with there only being 2 players maximum that were actually going to be there. And that is what makes me really uncertain about how this game's going to go for the side of Aspire, because their mid-round adaptability just isn't there.
No, and that's certainly something that is highly needed for a team, especially for a team that's now in the top 16 of this competition. So, not quite sure what's going on with Aspire, whether they're just lacking these kind of skills in general, or whether it's just a problem for today. But again, this round is not starting out well, as they already lose the Nomad very early on to the hands of the Jaeger, who's still holding his position, still staying in a strong position from where he can easily contest any attackers trying to enter from this position. His position seems to be known as he did, I believe, get droned out. At least I hope he did get droned out. But at the same time, the Legion is also pretty close to help him out in case of any emergency.
Indeed he is. And now going to be falling off on that laundry stairs hold. Is going to be pre-aiming a lot of stuff, but his Vigil going to still be around on this tower stairs side. And I mean, he just gave away his position because he just full sprinted through where the Vigil was going to be slow walking. And this Flores drone is relatively effective. Why? I don't understand why he's going straight for the shield. More than likely trying to clear out that utility a little too desperately, because realistically what he should have done there is gone for the soft wall and then opted to try and go for the shield. Because if he goes for the soft wall first, it clears that player out and gives him a little bit more of a sightline, potentially even a rotation to make his way all the way through. Some shots being traded back and forth between Snelly and also Ollie, or not Ollie, Madarino, as they're not really able to find the frag on either side. Saki comes through, finds the kill onto Madarino, and Carroll goes down. We are going to be seeing a really big scuffle between these 2 teams, and once again, it is getting pretty close and pretty down to the wire, but we're in a 2v3 with a minute left on the clock, a lot of time remaining for them to actually do things, and Snelly actually is DBNO right now as they try and take the swing onto the final player.
There's actually a good chance for the ace right now, as Jaeger's currently on a 4K and just needs to find one more. It's a 2 versus 1 position, so he needs to be slightly more careful, as this round can go very bad very soon. But he's in a good position to actually secure the skill, as he knows where Saki is playing and is in a good position to do so. Saki, however, opening the wall, creating a bit of distraction and uncertainty for the enemy where he will be coming from. But as he's now entering the building, it's actually Ollie with the final kill. No, actually trades, but as the Jaeger was still alive, the defenders win yet another round, and it's LDL now on a 5-0 score.
Yeah, a little bit of trolling from the Womai there. If no one saw, he was trying to go for a pistol kill. But either way, the trade at the end does secure the round for the defense, and we're at maximum of 5-1 half for the side of Aspire.
Yeah, 5-1 is the best they can do at this moment, and even that is not looking good for them. A 5-1 will provide opportunities. Like I said, they will be going to the defense right after that, and a 5-1 is the best they can do, and they should be going for that, because a 6-0 is pretty much impossible, but a 5-1 is not looking great either. But if they are going to score rounds, then it's especially going to be the defensive half.
I mean, yeah, it is going to be on the defensive half if they are going to actually get 6 points without fail. But something else to consider is if they win this out, like if they get 6-0 and then pull out some gimmick in order to be able to catch the enemy team off guard on their first offense,
yeah,
this could be the first 7-0 that we see in this Swiss stage.
Have we? I think you might be right, yeah. Yeah, like even the Minions game, we played a 4 versus 5, ended up at a 2-7 score. So yeah, that would indeed be the very first one, which would be great position for LDL to be in. However, with Hookah securing that first opening kill, at least there's a bit of positivity to say there about Aspire. That's Madrino taken care of. This, if they're going to win an offensive round, then it should definitely be this one.
I mean, yeah, we said that previous, but they weren't able to. They were down on man count on the defensive side at one point in that round and still managed to pull it back. So losing this one player isn't going to be too big of a deal for that defensive side, but getting very weak is Ollie as he makes his way back through that green corridor, running away from the Flores drones. And I mean, it's not looking good for the defensive side, but also like overall it's looking even worse for the attacking side. They did manage to find that kill onto Life, who was the big difference maker in the previous round, and we are just seeing a little stagnation from both sides. Both teams just kind of hanging back, thinking about what they want to do next, and hopefully for both sides actually bringing it into fruition.
Yeah, because with 1 minute and 25 seconds, the attacking team does have quite a bit of time to still work with. I mean, there's only 3 defenders to be found, of which every single one seems to be playing in or near the bomb side. So it should be pretty easy for them to locate them. And with the utility they still have on board, they should be able to do quite a bit. But as the Azen unfortunately falls to the side of Seki, it's a bit of the utility I was trying to mention lost. Actually, they don't really have any utility besides 2 Claymores. And besides that, it's just really coming down to the guns. And with a 3 versus 3, they have lost that man advantage, but the HP advantage is definitely on the side of Aspire. And as Hookah then gets a kill on Axie, it's a 2 versus 3 in the advantage of Aspire.
Indeed it is. Engagement's going either way right now, as they are going to be trying to take the engagement onto Carol. He is all the way through into the site in a very low health clutch. Going to have to come out of this player. Does manage to find the first onto Carol, who is going to be going for that plant, and now going to be very isolated in this position, gets caught out by Hookah, and well, looks like we do manage to see an attacking round, and we are going to end that half 5-1.
Yeah, it was getting a little bit too close for my comfort towards the end of the round, but luckily, Aspire still managed to secure at least one offensive round. Like we've mentioned before, they are now going to the defense, and what I'm expecting is that they're going to score some rounds here. At least they're going to get at least 2 more rounds in this match, as that's what's needed for LDL to end this match. So out of those 2 rounds that we will see, at least I would expect Aspire to win at least one here on the defense. They have decided to go to the top floor first and not to the basement first, which is, I mean, somewhat understandable. I might have gone for that basement first, as it's just like, yeah, generally just a stronger bomb side, and I guess winning the bomb side could give them a really nice motivational boost. But at the same time, it's fine. It's fine. You can just go here first. It's a great bomb site as well. And if they like to go here first, then why not?
I mean, yeah, definitely the case. As we are going to be seeing them just go to this top floor first, as you said, and really just, well, I mean, they seem confident in their top floor hold. They do have some pretty neat little gimmick strategies, but I feel like these could have been hidden for later on in the tournament if they were confident enough to actually get themselves through. But yeah, a little scary right now.
And this is not what Aspire wants at this point. They're losing 2 members very early on from a window repel. That's just not allowed to happen. The Ram just on a very strong position, taking out 2 players. Luckily, Shivers responding by taking out Madrina, but still, lots of damage has been done. Man advantage is going towards the side of LDL, and with this very aggressive plays, they are looking to end this match really quickly. But Seki luckily responding also in time and bringing this round to 3 versus 3 and kind of slowing down their opponents a little bit here.
Indeed, they are, and I mean, even though they have managed to slow them down, they've still got to yet stop the bleeding, as they are going to be moving their way in on the attack over towards this trophy bedroom side. The Azami still inside of that closet, going to be ready to take any engagements necessary, but actually finds one onto the man in attic. And now, with no nades remaining, they aren't able to clear out this keeper barricade without actually punching it themselves. And we've seen how that worked out in the tournament. Actually takes a swing, manages to find the kill onto Shivers, and now it's going to be a 1v2 clutch situation for Hookah. The double swing comes out, and, well, Ollie's there to find the refrag. And that's going to be another round for the side of LDL. 5-1.
Yeah, it's now match point here for the side of LDL, securing their first round win here on the offense, where we were hoping or maybe have a little expectation of Aspire to at least secure a round here, but unfortunately not working in their favor. They are now going to the slightly stronger bomb side, which is the basement, where they do have a chance to win, but like you've already said, they are now on the opponent is now on their match point, and we have already seen how much aggressiveness is put available on the side of LDL. And for this basement defense, I can imagine some aggressiveness might come out once more, as LDL does have quite a bit of room for error. We have seen them kind of been trolling, taking risks as they find themselves in a very comfortable position, and for this round we might see something similar happen once more.
I mean, yeah, definitely so. We do see a cap can on side, something we haven't seen all game. It could very much be enough of a gimmick in order to actually slow down or even halt this push entirely. And it looks like he's only really placing single traps, as they're kind of expecting the damage to be enough. But two hatches open. They're going to be holding on to that stage hatch with the player in attic. And it looks like we're just going for a blue rush here. One player runs in, gets caught out by a headshot. Snelly throws over a C4 and manages to find another kill instead. And now we're going to be in a 4 versus 3 very, very quickly. And another Will My Disc is going to be thrown onto that door.
Yeah, things are not looking great here for the side of LDL, as they have lost quite a few members, but it's only a 2 versus 3, and we have seen before how well at LDL is at reclaiming advantages and how bad Aspire really is at maintaining their advantages. So there's quite a bit of opportunity here for the side of LDL, even given the fact that not even a single minute has expired yet. And with the aggressiveness and the great gun skill of LDL, we can just see how easily they can reclaim this lead, or at least equalize things, as it's now 2 versus 2, with Liv very close to or even in the bomb side. No, he's still playing here in blue, even getting another kill on Hookah, and leaving Seki all left standing in this 2 versus 1 position. His position is even known, so he's in a very tough position. He's playing his Warner, can counter those flashbangs, but it's also perfect distraction for the attacking members to make their way into the bomb side. But with a shotgun in hand, a very low HP on the side of Liv, Warren should surely be able to clutch this out, right?
The whiffs. He's not able to find the shotgun shells, and Liv is going to be just running away, backing himself out. And yeah, I don't think he's aware of the low health on this man. And eventually, he takes a swing. Saki finds the kill, and it's going to be 7-2 maximum for the side of LDL now, if they are able to find this next round.
Yeah, Aspire staying in the game at least 1 round longer than maybe some have expected. But for now, it's 6-2. Yeah, for the upcoming 4 rounds maximum, it's LDL going to be on the match point, and that brings Aspire still in a very tough situation. Yes, they have at least scored 2 rounds, but they still need 4 more to deny that match point and bring this match to overtime, which is pretty much going to be an impossible task, given how Aspire has been playing, really. Even now, this final round, or this previous rounds, LDL, they did not manage to win, but at the same time, they weren't exactly playing in their strongest way. A bit more of an aggressive, risky play.
Oh yeah, it was very much an aggressive, risky play, but I mean, we're kind of in this position now where they're back to trying to play a very upstairs-oriented defense, which, I mean, they did lose before. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a nail-biter for them. There's a different gimmick coming out of the opposing side. They are going to be bringing along the Blitz, the Ram, the Glaz as well, and that Dekebi, in order to be able to well, really isolate and pick out a few of these defenders.
Yeah, for now, once again, this might just be the very final rounds. A very aggressive lineup from the side, and actually already going for plant. How is this even possible? The inside, and I don't think Aspire is fully aware yet at this moment. Blitz is almost being able to stick to plant fully, but no, he actually went off at this very last moment. They even lost one player, and the Blitz is being eliminated as well. A 3 versus 5 with Diffuser lost outside, easily to be reclaimed, but the momentum that LDL had in their favor so much is unfortunately lost. If the Blitz was only going to stick the plant, the Diffuser would have been on the floor right now, and then LDL would have been in a great position, but they decided to go off it, which is, yeah, it's not the best decision in this case. Huh? I didn't know that angle.
I didn't know about that angle. I'm about to use it from the opposite side, brother. Oh my god. Can you imagine one-tapping someone through that in ranked? I would be fuming.
I mean, of course, the glass scope will highlight the play even more easily, making it more easy to see it, but I really didn't know about the angle. A beautiful kill right there, or at least beautiful damage being done there. It's now 2 versus 3, 2 versus 2 make that as Medino gets his third and puts himself on a triple kill. And with this 2 versus 2, and LDL kind of reclaiming themselves, or at least getting ready for yet another attempted execution, is Medino miraculously making his way in, getting his 4th kill, unfortunately not securing the 5th and not securing the ace, but doing loads of damage there on Carol, who's now in a very tricky situation versus the glass. Of course, Carol does technically have the better gun in this situation, but his HP is definitely not going to help. Any bit of damage will take him out, and he needs to be extremely careful against the glass, who is now smartly go for the drone to just go and gather a little bit of information on the opponent, but they seem to be aware. The yellow pings are coming out. Jaeger knows exactly who it is, and yet again, Aspire continues to surprise us and secures yet another round and keeps on extending this game even further.
It is wild that we saw 2 people on the side of LDL feed so early. And it was still a 1v1 in the advantage of LDL at the end of the round.
Surely LDL is going to get a little bit more serious at the point. Yes, it's still 3 points ahead, and the room for error is still there, but this match could and maybe should already have been over by now. But the fact that Aspire is now going to, again, that 3rd bomb side, which might not really benefit them as well as the other 2 did, I think this would be a good moment for LDL to just finish this match once and for all and secure their points. But yeah, I can imagine they will be playing a bit more normal for this upcoming round.
It's absolutely psychotic that the side of Aspire are taking some of these swings. They need to be much more careful. At the moment, they're just getting punished, and it's so scary to see, especially when they're ending up in these clutch situations over and over again, and there's only a set amount of times that it can go well.
Yeah, this is still a very tricky situation for Aspire, and they have now got a taste of victory, but they're still far away from actually achieving that for now. They are on track, but they still have a long way to go, and with LDLs continuing to play pretty aggressive, they are already getting ready and putting themselves on the doorstep of the bomb side, playing backstage, and there's actually very, very nice rappel there all the way towards the back of Meeting Hall, which is pretty effective. Damaging Saki even a little bit, not securing the kill, but still a very, very nice angle.
Yeah, the drone hole actually becoming a bit of a threat there for the defenders as Mozzie has to be moved out of that position. And now we're going to be seeing much more aggression coming out of these attackers. They've managed to get it all the way down to a 1 versus 3. They're pushing this man. Hookah finds one for himself, knows the player's coming from the keeper barricade, and another one's going for the plant. He's going to be holding it for the plant, manages to get the quad onto the last guy, and is now going to be left to try and either pick up his teammate or take the engagement. He's picking up his teammate, and I don't know if he's aware how close this player actually is. He's going to be trying to take the swing round, destroys the shield in order to isolate him a little more, but he finds both kills! Lift!
Wow.
Oh my god.
That was a beautiful, beautiful end round play there from Liv. It was playing as the Ram. But yeah, this This is it. 7-3 score here for the side of LDL, securing and winning this match that could potentially have won a bit earlier already, but at least Aspire securing at least 2 more attacking round wins towards the end of the match, putting them on those 3 points in total. Not a 7-0 as this match could have been, and that you were at some points even almost predicting it would be, but still LDL securing a nice little win, which will certainly help them in this Swiss stage.
I'm baffled. Speaking of Swiss stage, let's have a look at the bracket.
Yes, so the Swiss stage, the bracket now has been updated. Note that the teams, as you can see them, like in the 1-0 and the 0-1, are like in a position like on the side where we were playing. So the teams that are shown at the 1-0 will play there, and the teams that will play in the 0-1 will play there. But the actual matchups are not actually fixed yet. Has to do with a little issue we have run into that we're trying to fix as soon as we can. We will likely have an update on which team will play which very, very soon, potentially tomorrow latest. But for now, just keep in mind that these are not the actual matches, and these teams will be switched out a little bit. But soon we will actually know who's going to play who. But these are the results of the first play week of the Swiss stage, and we now know how teams are looking for now in terms of the standings, because that's actually one visual that we can bring up as well. We have like a bit of a standings visual, which kind of reflects like on the round differences, the points scored. We should have that one as well from OPL, but yeah, that's just one of the other things that we could technically look at.
Well, either way, it's been a phenomenal day of games that we've seen so far, and I'm very happy with how it went. I think that these teams are going to be going back to the drawing board, and actually analyzing what went wrong and why it did. And I think that is going to be like the real sort of difference maker coming further forward into this, because we've got some pretty good teams down in the lower half at the moment. We've got people like Tracker Clan, Minions, F7, people that have been quite formidable throughout the rest of the tournament that are going to be going down into that lower bracket. And it's all about whether they're able to re-rise, come back into this tournament and actually not get themselves knocked out, because that's not what we want to see from those formidable sides.
Yeah, indeed. So that's basically it for today. Like I said, we will likely latest tomorrow be able to inform you which team will play against who and on which day. So keep an eye on our social media and potentially even Wikipedia, as it's also a great source for that kind of information to actually see how things are going to be. We're going to be back next week on Monday, like the same time as usual, with likely the upper bracket matches, or like the upper part of the Swiss stage matches, for the 1-0 matches. But for now, that's it for this week. I thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And also Ogon and Voids, who are in the background, providing the stream to us. Thank you very much. And to all of you, I hope to see you all next week. Good evening.